pornographic song that we're not allowed to
Can't
talk
say
about
that.
anymore.
Okay, I'm sorry, I won't say it. My name is Chuck Burge. We're here with Three Guys Who Love Sports, along with my co-host, Mr. Robert Kenny.
You're allowed to talk about Baby's Got Back and all sorts of other things.
But not Baby It's Cold Outside.
Afternoon Delight. These are all acceptable songs, but Baby It's Cold Outside. Nah.
So how was your Thanksgiving, Robert?
I was in Florida. Went to visit the oldest, and it was good.
St. Augustine? Oh, the oldest
St.
daughter.
St. Pete.
Yeah.
It was a little chilly by St. Pete standards. It was real cold by the time I got out of the car and came home.
Oh, cool. All right, cool. Well, this show is all about helping guys that are going through medical issues or mental issues, and we can take their mind off what they're going through for an hour a week. And if you can do the same thing, we can all help one another and make this world a better place. So that's what Three Guys Who Love Sports is all about, and we're going to get right to it. First, we want to thank Miller's Ale House for having us out here again, as always. Been 3 weeks since we've been here, so we missed it. Robert, what did you order tonight?
I ordered something different. I went top shelf highball. I went to filet mignon.
Did you really?
I did. They have two sizes. I went with the little one. So, for all the managers and general managers going, hey, what's Big Mouth over there eating all of our profits up? It was a small one, but I'm excited to see what it tastes like.
I did the chicken fajitas, so
Can't go wrong with the fajitas.
Can't go wrong with the fajitas. They're pretty cool. So we got a lot of sports to get into. As we were talking before the show, we could talk 3 hours today and not cover everything that's happened in the 3 weeks since we've been gone. But we have our guest, Doug Clemens. Doug, come on in. Everybody put your hands together for Doug. One person over there clapped for you, Doug. That was it. That's not even the rest of the table. What's the matter with you
two or
people?
three.
I was going to say only one person clapped, and you walked in with her. So,
He probably paid her to talk to you.
She might be worried about getting a ride home. You're going to have to put those on probably just to know what's going on.
Just be able to listen to us.
So help me out in every which way.
Absolutely.
There you go.
Oh, good. Okay. Good.
You hear us okay? A little bit closer to the mic, Doug, and you'll be fine.
It's very, very loud. It's very loud.
What?
It's very
Loud.
What?
I can't hear you.
Down
It's
a
very
little bit
loud.
on his.
Can you
Down a
hear-
little bit
A little
on
bit
his.
closer to the mic.
How am I? Can you hear me okay?
You're good.
Can hear you
Okay,
fine
good.
now.
All right, good.
All right. So we're going to start off with college football, which is not really Doug's forte, but he's going to add in what we can. But
Absolutely.
how can you not start a show off this week without
What a
college
weekend.
football?
What-
What a weekend that is coming up. What a
Oh,
weekend.
I'm talking about the weekend that just happened.
the
Holy
weekend
moly.
that just happened was incredible. But all the favorites won.
And the
right?
weekend before that.
But none of the favorites were winning in the third quarter.
than Michigan.
Everybody was going down.
Michigan was tied, but Michigan never trailed.
Yeah, that game doesn't count. Those teams only look good against each other.
Michigan's a good football team.
They are.
They are a
Until
good
TCU beats them
football
by
team.
40 or somebody else does.
Yeah. So.
Bam, bam.
So
won't be Iowa.
we'll get into our questions. The biggest question to me is FSU. They've lost Jordan Travis, which was a brutal injury. I don't know if you saw it or not, but man, I hated it for him. He's a great kid. I've watched him play 2 or 3 years now, and always polite, always doing great interviews and stuff. And what happened to his leg was another Joe Theismann type thing. Probably not quite as bad, but obviously knocked him out. But do you put they're 12-0 now, right?
Yes, sir, they are.
What if they beat Louisville?
I don't think they will.
Yeah, they're 2.5 point
you don't think
favorites.
they will, but
No.
a lot of people didn't think they'd beat Florida.
Well, yeah, but Jeff Brom's teams get up for big games.
Oh, you're all about the ex-Purdue coaches.
I'm not
alumni.
a huge fan of Jeff Brom.
I know
but,
you're not.
But I mean,
But it's
he
only
gets
because
his,
he left Purdue,
yes,
right?
he gets his teams up for big games. I think Louisville they lost to Kentucky last week. I think they're going to be more than ready this week. I think they're going to take the fight to Florida
Is that
State.
38-31? Was that the game? Or
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
31-24?
Yeah.
Touchdown.
And they didn't look good last week, but FSU didn't look great against Florida, and that's not a good Florida
think they were
team.
gonna win
they
that
were
football
down
game.
12-0, and then they looked good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, Florida's got 7 losses, right?
No, I think I thought they
They had
were
6 going in, but I think that was their 7th loss.
I don't know.
Oh, no,
that
can't
might
be.
be true.
That can't be
I
because they're
thought that
going
was
to a
their.
bowl game.
I thought that was their 5th loss.
Yeah, you may be right.
Yeah, I thought they were
7 and
7-5.
They're one of the
Yeah.
teams Tech may play in a bowl game. So,
All I can say on this subject on FSU is the folks in Garnet and Gold can't believe what the rest of the world's talking about. They're like, hey, if Clemson was undefeated and hurt their quarterback, or Miami, would we be talking about kicking them to the curb at this point? An undefeated ACC team goes.
Yes.
period.
Yes.
If they win, they're in. Even though
Unless-
we all know they're a little inferior compared to what they might have been a month ago. But if they win, they got to be in.
What if Oregon beats Washington?
Then Washington or Oregon's out. Not both of them. Both of those guys don't get to come to that
We
party.
could end this weekend with only one undefeated team,
We could.
and that being Michigan.
Hopefully
We
it's
could
Michigan.
End up this weekend with no undefeated teams.
Well, I'm pulling for Liberty because I think I'm going to take them in the top.
Well, that's a different story. I guess.
that's a different story.
But yeah, I mean, FSU, they're not as good as they were week 6, week 8, week 9.
Without Jordan Travis, they're not half the team they were. So,
But-
I mean, they still got some good running backs. They've got good receivers. But I wasn't impressed with this guy that I've seen play a game and a half.
He hasn't been practicing all year.
Yeah.
You're taking second team reps all year long. It's hard to, okay, this is my shot. All right, let me look like somebody who's been doing this my whole life. Not very easy.
Yeah. So, are we all in agreement that if FSU wins, they're in?
Yes.
I believe so.
I believe they are too. All right. Is the Big 12 out?
Texas requires a lot of
Yes.
Well, let's say for poots and giggles that Georgia Alabama beats Georgia.
Alabama would jump Texas.
love. Leapfrog them in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
I believe that, but won't the argument be that Texas beat Alabama by more than 10 in Tuscaloosa?
Yeah, but Georgia to Alabama beat Georgia.
Correct.
Georgia is the number 1 team in the country.
I believe
As
that.
much as I hate it.
Uncle Nick will get the nod because people go, it's Saban.
Yeah.
He just knocked out them off. And at the end of the day, you're not looking for who looked the best on September 9th.
Well, they're looking for the 4 best teams.
Correct.
Right?
And
so if
Texas
if
looked
Alabama
good on
beats
September 9th.
if Alabama meets Georgia, is Georgia not still one of the 4 best teams? Or are they going to put a 4th place Texas in over
There's no way.
over Georgia?
There's no way. So I got my piece of paper.
Like this
However you would like to break this out.
It's better than the alternative.
Texas is going to require a Georgia win, a Michigan win.
No, a Michigan loss.
No,
No,
because
Michigan's not gonna lose.
that's just going to muddy the waters even more. I don't think that helps them. I don't think that helps them.
That's fair.
Oregon to win, Louisville to win,
Yes.
and of course they're going to have to be
And somebody has
OK
to
State as well.
Yeah, but does the Oklahoma State win jump them above Ohio State?
Ohio
Jump
State.
Texas above Ohio State?
Yeah.
Ohio State is
Texas
in a
is
real
Texas
mess.
is behind Ohio State
by
right
one.
now.
By
Yeah.
one.
By one.
They're
They
going to win.
will
today.
because of no championship game.
Yeah, there's an extra game.
Who's
yeah,
got no championship game?
Ohio State will
Ohio
drop.
State's done.
because-
Ohio State is done. Nobody that's not playing
Yes.
this weekend is going to make the
But
playoffs.
if
Scenarios
Florida
are
State
very
if
difficult
Florida
for Ohio
State loses and Oregon beats Washington,
correct.
do you go with 2 Pac-12 teams?
Never.
No.
Never.
Loser
There's-
that game
at
will
the,
not be
At
in.
the most, we're going to take one, and I'm saying that based on your constant letting me know that Oregon is the best team.
I
currently.
think Oregon is the
Well,
best team in the
and-
country.
and you're not alone in that front. So if Oregon can avenge their one loss, which was at Washington, and they can go to Vegas
And they're 9.5-point favorites.
Why wouldn't they be? They got the Heisman Trophy winner. Oop, I wasn't supposed to say that, was I?
Oh, we'll get into that next week.
No, I think
but,
that could be Jaden Daniels.
no, I don't
not
think
with
so.
3 losses. I don't
Not-
think he's going to get in with 3 losses.
He is
but
Jaden Daniels
does a-
is the best player in the country.
So does a 12-1 Georgia get in over a 13-0 Tech FSU?
So scenarios.
I don't think Georgia can fall out of the playoff
I don't think so either.
unless they lose 49-0. I don't think they can fall out of the playoff.
And do we agree with this?
'Cause-
if Bama beats Georgia, is Bama in? Regardless, everything else that happens.
Somebody else I read
if-
said if
if-
everybody else wins and Georgia and Alabama both have won, could there be no SEC team in the 14 playoff?
Not gonna happen. SEC, the not only do they have every freaking title for the last 8 years, but you have Alabama would say, we're undefeated in our own conference, haven't lost this year, including we've got the big trophy. Georgia, obviously, 27-game winning streak. We hit a hiccup against Uncle Nick.
As much as I hate this, you have to put Alabama in over undefeated Florida State because Florida State doesn't have a quarterback.
That one loss, Alabama.
One loss, Alabama goes in over undefeated Florida State because Florida State doesn't have a quarterback.
Committee won't do it.
And you
I think they should.
And you make Alabama 3, Georgia 4, and let them both play whoever's up in front of them, whether it be Oregon and Michigan, and then
Alabama Georgia plays Oregon, and Michigan plays Bama. I think you have to put them in over undefeated Florida State because Florida State doesn't have a quarterback. If Jordan Travis was still if he was still the quarterback, then I don't think there's a way for Alabama to get in unless Florida State loses and you get a Pac-12 team losing.
But if they don't have a quarterback, and they didn't have a quarterback last weekend, why did they put them in the top 4?
Because
they're undefeated.
Well, they'll still be undefeated if they win.
Yeah, but it's an SEC champion Alabama.
And this is
Alabama's
they're an ACC champion.
But Alabama's strength of schedule is so much better than Florida State's.
So much, it's not even funny. And at the end of the day, this is what it always comes down to for me. You can tell me that the ratings and everything else are based on this year, this team, this year. That's it.
Looking back or going forward?
For the Final Four, it should only matter on these 4 teams or this season. Period. But how can you not know that Georgia's got back-to-back natties and got 27 in a row? They know
in a row.
They know that. Bama, they're like, are you freaking kidding me? It's Bama.
Yeah.
There's no way that
there's no way a one-loss Bama gets snubbed over Florida State without a quarterback.
I don't see too many scenarios. For
Alabama beating Georgia will cause the most chaos of any game this weekend.
My answer for you on that: who screws it up more than any other? Knock knock.
Iowa.
Knock knock.
Who's there?
Bama.
Bama who?
Bama ding dong, baby. They are going to blow up this poll. If they win this game, there's no way you don't give it to Uncle Nick.
Do you think they're winning?
I said last year, as a Georgia fan, that I believe if it would have been a 12-team playoff last year, Bama wins that national title. And I, the more I watch Milroe, he is unimpressive passing the ball. He's not fleet of foot. But what he's reminding me of more and more is Jalen Hurts. You can't tackle the guy. He doesn't fall down, and the passing is just getting a little better each game. And each week their defense gets better. It's tough not to think Bama looks really good in this game.
It's Bama's defense that'll win this game if they win.
And as somebody pointed out to me today, a big dog fan, we ain't never beat Nick in downtown Atlanta. So no, you haven't pulled that one off.
No, I think Iowa beating Michigan would cause the most chaos.
It really would.
Because what do you do with Michigan?
You would give Michigan would become your automatic 4. Because they beat, there was a week ago, 2 played 3. You're not going to get rid of 2 and 3 who were both undefeated going into the last game of the regular season.
If Texas wins the Big 12 championship,
doesn't matter.
1 win, 1 loss. I mean,
I don't see how you could put them in if they lose to Iowa. Iowa's not ranked.
Iowa is. They're ranked 16th.
You can't. Okay, fine, but you can't
of all the games being played this week, that one's a 24.5-point favorite.
Well,
I'm not concerned about it.
But it's not 24. Iowa's defense is better than 24.
And I
think it's about
a
12-point game.
So you take Iowa plus the points.
Yeah, I'll take Iowa.
How much money are you putting on it?
I'm not going to put money on it, but I'll take Iowa.
But my reason for it not being the MAC, if Iowa wins, they're not in. And that's why it's not the biggest one.
Big 12 championship is not going in.
If one loss Bama walks
I don't think a Big 12 team is going to get in. I don't think Texas is going to get in. I think they're going to get snubbed if Bama wins.
Not if Bama wins. Bama is leapfrogging. For Ohio State to win, what would Ohio State have to have happen?
Ohio State cannot get in. I believe that 100%.
If Michigan loses, if
FSU
Georgia
loses.
loses, if FSU loses, Ohio State gets it.
You say that again. Georgia?
Washington would have to lose.
Georgia,
Washington?
no, Georgia, Michigan, FSU.
Georgia, Michigan, FSU. You think that gets Ohio State
'Cause-
in? Then you're
No,
going to
you-
have... No, there's
Because
no
Michigan
possible-
Michigan
all four
drops
have
out
to
of the
lose.
playoff. Michigan
Michigan is-
would drop out of the playoff if they lost to
Everybody
Iowa.
wants to talk about Texas being one ahead of this right now. This is 2 versus 3 last weekend.
Michigan drops out of the
They're
playoff
not
if they
dropping
lose
out
to
of the
Iowa.
playoff, and they're not handing it to Ohio State. If they drop out of the playoff, so be it. It won't be because of Ohio State. They will not put a one-loss who lost head-to-head in that game.
But if Bama beats Georgia
Okay.
and Iowa beats Michigan,
Okay.
Michigan's out. They'll put Alabama
You're
in.
wrong. You're way off. There's no
They'll put
possi-
Alabama in over Michigan.
Not if
No,
if Alabama
you
loses.
said Ohio State. You're saying Ohio State
Well,
would
yes,
go
but
in.
then I changed my argument. I went to a different
It's
argument.
kinda like, sometimes he does that before we'll be talking football, and then it'll be like, when we beat Gonzaga, I'm like, hold on, you beat
We're not
Gonzaga.
talking
Wait, we're on basketball. Basketball. Hey, who's number 1 in the world? I can't even remember.
Purdue's
okay.
number 1 in the
Okay.
country.
There
All
you
right.
go.
All right. Well, like I said, we could talk for 3 hours about college football.
So
real
who
quick-
you got?
Real quick, Adam, who you got in the Final Four?
Who's
Final
your
4. My 4 is Georgia.
Football, not basketball.
I know. Georgia, Michigan, Oregon, Texas.
What say you?
I say Michigan. I say Oregon. I say Alabama. And I say FSU.
Negative Nelly over there. Anything he can do to poke a bear if he thought he could get away with it.
I believe
you
if
know-
Alabama beats Georgia, Georgia can't get in. There's too many other good teams that if they win, they got to be in above Georgia.
Okay. And before I go ahead and tell you who the actual 4 will be, what were your 4 again?
Alabama, Michigan, Texas, Oregon, FSU.
Texas and
Are you
FSU.
talking about mine?
Yeah, we're talking you.
Yeah.
So you're
Well,
the one.
I didn't know,
You're
I
the,
thought Adam was answering for him.
no, you're the one who
Michigan.
just said that Georgia
Michigan.
can't get in because all these good one-loss teams.
There are not
Are
going to
you
be 2 SEC teams in the Final Four.
not so fast, my friend?
Michigan, Oregon. Who else did I say?
FSU
In Texas.
and
No,
Texas.
I didn't say Texas.
Yeah, you did.
No, I didn't say Texas.
You did just a second
Well,
ago.
if I said Texas, I didn't mean Texas. They're not getting in. Michigan, Oregon, Alabama,
FSU.
and then Alabama is the other one I said. I didn't say Texas. Michigan, Alabama,
I'm gonna
Oregon, and FSU.
I'm gonna go. Do you guys want seedings?
No,
Because I'm
just
willing to
give
go
us
to
your
these
4.
seedings if you want. It's going to be Michigan. It's going to be Georgia. It's going to be Bama. And it's going to be Oregon.
So we're only one team off.
But it's a huge difference.
It is.
Huge difference. That's like, woo, different.
All right, well,
and
let's
and
get-
I said, and just for the record, I'd like to remind everybody, you can go back and check the tape. What I said before the season ever started, I said Bama would beat Georgia, an undefeated Georgia team, in this game this weekend, and Bama would lose the national championship rematch. So sticking with that one for right now.
All right, we can live with that. Well, speaking of sticking, let's stick with our commercial and our sponsors. Let's do Brian Bristow.
There are a lot of places to get your oil change. I know. I just went and got one from him in the Kennesaw area. But if you're looking for a personal experience, then stop in at Castrol, Kennesaw Express Lube, or Lost Mountain Express Lube. We'll always do our best to get you in and out quickly, safely, and without a whole lot of fuss. We're a true owner-operated business where you'll find Brian under a car or a hood at one of the shops. We offer experienced, knowledgeable technicians and the latest computer software to help you maintain your new car warranty and keep your pride and joy running for the next 100,000 miles. We proudly offer Castrol products.
And we thank you, Brian Bristow, for being a sponsor of the Three Guys Who Love Sports, as well as the Owl Show coming up at 7 o'clock right here from Miller's Ale House. So, Doug, who's your team in the NFL? If you're from up north, right?
Well, I was born and raised up there, but I've been in Atlanta since 1977. So
Okay.
Atlanta's my town.
All right, so Falcons are your team?
Oh, yeah, Falcons, yeah.
Okay,
He
that's
came
cool.
down during the Grits Blitz. How could he not become a lover?
Barkowski and all that. Oh,
Absolutely.
Yeah. Big
Oh,
time.
Steve was
William
a friend of mine.
Andrews.
I
Oh,
like
yeah, great
Steve.
guys.
Steve was a great guy.
Yeah.
So a lot of quarterbacks been playing this year. I know we're only, 11 games into the season? No. How many games have we
We
played?
are 12.
Well, Falcons
Week
are 5 and
13.
6, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, but it
we're
was
in
the
week
bye
13.
Week, yeah. So we are a little more than half, and we have had 60 quarterbacks play. Is that what you told me, Adam?
Yes, 60 quarterbacks have thrown a pass.
And you told me a stat last year where we had the most ever last year.
94.
So we need 34 new ones. I don't
Yes.
think we can beat the record from last
I
year.
don't
because-
think we
because
can
we've
either.
already used all those guys,
Yeah.
haven't we?
But it'll be a fun game at the end of the year. Which quarterbacks played and which quarterbacks didn't.
Oh, we'll play it
Or-
come the end of the year.
We could even do one better than that. Offensive lineman or quarterback who started in the NFL this year.
We could do that.
Well, the bad start with Rodgers getting hurt in that first game was incredible.
You know,
He may be coming back, but that blew me away.
We talked about that earlier.
I was at my dad's house and I was looked at his DVR and his DVR was at 99%. I said, well, let's delete some of this stuff. So we start going through it. Sure enough, he had that game. I was like, hey, let's just watch this. Sure enough, watched him run out with the flag. And then, there he's fourth play. Falls over.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So who's the cream of the crop in the NFC? It's got to be the Eagles, right?
Yeah.
I
I'd
hate
say
the
so.
Eagles.
Eagles have the most talented roster there is. And they have the most unstoppable play right now, for sure, possibly ever.
What's the little quick toss to DeAndre Swift?
No.
The tush push.
The tush push.
Tush
Yeah,
push.
yeah.
I hate it.
Anybody can say whatever they want. They get more than a yard on this. So this is hey, it's 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3. Let's just tush push this a couple to plays. It's huge what that guy's doing. He killed me in fantasy this week, and
You think that'll be outlawed next year?
so they say they're doing a lot of research. They said the only reason why they would outlaw it is if there's a lot of injuries, and right now there hasn't been injuries. So
There were 2 injuries on the Giants.
they're the Giants. Good
Well,
Lord.
yeah.
Danny DeVito's the quarterback now.
Tommy DeVito.
DeVito.
Everybody says Danny DeVito.
Yeah, I'm in the middle of a move, so I couldn't watch any games on Sunday. I'm totally oblivious to what's going on, but I'm following my fantasy teams.
Right.
I've got 2. I've got Hurts on both teams. All I know
You're
he had
doing good.
He had a horrible first half. He was like minus 0.47 points, but we know what happened in that game. He had a great
Absolutely.
day. So what did happen? How did he turn it around? Did we have to push tush a few times, or
You know,
he
he
had 5 TVs?
he is that good. I mean, he never gets down. He's a Bama boy through and through. And oh, look, everything's hopeless.
And
No,
what a
it's
game
okay.
that'll be this weekend, Philly and San Francisco.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So
That's a big game.
They're both really good teams. I mean, San Francisco had that 3-game losing streak, but they've kind of rebounded from that. And I mean, I'm very happy I have Christian C-Mac on my fantasy team. He's been carrying the load, but I've had one player carry a different game every week. It's been phenomenal.
But San Francisco, they were without Debo for a while. McCaffrey was a little dinged up for a couple weeks. It's all about getting healthy for them, and they added the greatest piece at the trade deadline.
Chase
right?
Young.
Good Lord! If ever there was a defense that did not need Chase Young, it was theirs.
And
they got it
I
anyway.
will stand on this hill. Brock Purdy is a top 5 quarterback.
Yeah, I saw his brother.
Still
You
not
said
there.
was the GOAT. Didn't look so much like a GOAT this weekend.
Chubba Purdy.
Shovel Purdy, yeah. So yeah, San Francisco and Philly probably going to be the NFC Championship game. I mean, if I had to pick 2 now, that's who it would be. But what's happening over in the AFC? That's a crazy, crazy division.
Anybody can win.
Anybody can win that
The
thing.
Dolphins are fake.
Right now, the Jaguars are the number 1 seed.
No,
the Dolphins
Ravens.
are still. It's
Ravens
the
are
Ravens.
the number 1.
No, Jacksonville was in the poll I looked at.
Yeah, well, they're 9. Jacksonville is 8-3, and the Ravens are 9-3. So the Ravens definitely get 9-3 over 8.
The Ravens still have a bye week.
Yeah. God, I hate Pat McAfee.
But when you look at it, do you know? I mean, right now it's Ravens, Chiefs, Jags, and Dolphins are your 4 division winners, and your three wild cards are Colts, Browns, Steelers. Who would have ever saw the AFC North sticking 3 teams in the AFC playoffs?
What about the Broncos?
Broncos would play good football.
Broncos are right on the edge. They're close. Do you know if the playoffs started today, where that first game would be for your guys, right?
Dallas.
Whoever wins the NFC South,
Yeah.
that's where you're going.
Yeah.
So just
I
remember, as soon
so
as they
hope
say
we
those
play in
Falcons
Atlanta.
take us-
I so hope we play in Atlanta because I will go to that game.
But realistically, at 8-3, there's your closest competition for a wild card spot at that point is 6-5. So you got a 2-game lead, which means you are going to be playing whoever wins the NFC South. So you're going to
Yes.
here
I so hope we play in Atlanta. I want to go to a playoff game so bad.
I think this is your year.
This could be the one. That's assuming Atlanta wins. Now, they are 3-0 in their division now.
Well, I'm okay playing the Saints, but
Yeah, that won't be played in Atlanta.
no, that won't be played in Atlanta.
Yeah, but him and his dad, they will travel.
No, my dad is not a Cowboys fan. It's just me.
I knew there was something about him I
Yeah.
liked.
Wait a minute.
So, what do you think about the Falcons' chances of winning the division? I mean, they are 3-0.
To me, it's such a crapshoot right now in football, especially that's the NFC, but still, it's so hard to predict with injuries and all. I hope so. I hope to see the Falcons move on.
Oh, I do too.
It'd be great.
I would love to see the Falcons win. They play what? Oh, they go to New York this week and play the Jets, right?
So they're gonna win this week.
So, but
I wouldn't count on that.
The defense,
There is no way they lose to Tim Boyle. They're just not gonna lose to Tim Boyle.
Well, the D is a good bet in fantasy this week.
Derek may give away the farm, though. That's my only issue. Still too many turnovers. I'm just not happy with our quarterback play. Yeah. Not happy with our quarterback play at all.
Well, but that's okay. That just lets you know we don't have a quarterback, and we need to take care of that in the offseason.
And you're coming into a quarterback-heavy class.
Hey,
Extremely heavy
I got an
quarterback.
incredible stump ATI question while
Oh,
we're in the
no.
middle of it. You
Go
ready?
for it.
Jalen Hurts has only lost 2 regular season games since the beginning of last year.
Yes.
Who are the 2 quarterbacks who did it? And if you'd like a hint, neither one of them's a starter anymore.
Lost to 2.
These are active.
That's
got
pretty
one of 'em.
rough.
I got one of them.
They're active.
I know that in his last 34 games he's 30-4.
Right, but that includes the postseason.
yes.
So just in last year, he lost 1 regular season game. This year, he lost 1 regular season
regular
game. Who are those
season.
2 quarterbacks? And neither one of them is
Well,
starting.
this year Zach Wilson.
That is correct.
Last year, I got to guess.
Last
FAT, I can't
year,
Final answer.
can you give me the team that they played for?
guess. No,
No.
that's who it is.
No?
Taylor Heineke.
Taylor Heineke. But, look at that. Anybody can beat anybody, but it's not gonna
Any
happen.
given Sunday.
Any given Sunday.
Any given Sunday. And, yeah, I don't know if you, I know we're skipping back to college for just a second, but transfer portal is nuts already.
Yeah, Purdue has lost
Van Dyke.
9 guys.
Kansas State's quarterback left. Miami's quarterback left. Tyler Van Dyke.
Well, Tyler
Missis-
Van Dyke hasn't been
Mississippi
great this year.
State. He did today.
But, there's
Well,
a lot
I'm
of
saying
things.
he hasn't been great this year.
Oh, no, he hadn't. No.
But when
Will
you-
Rogers from Mississippi State, he entered the transfer
When
portal.
you look at what Colorado was able to do and a couple other transfers out of this year, why wouldn't you be thinking, hey, let's all transfer to a different team? Let's.
I saw a quote from Matt Rule, who's the Nebraska head coach. He said, "If you
For
want to
another
get,
week.
he said if you want to get a quarterback in the portal, you have to spend anywhere from $1 million to $2 million for it."
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Yeah, somebody said one of the quarterbacks, I can't remember, already has 10 $1 million offers to go to a different school. I can't remember who it was. But I hope Haynes King doesn't go anywhere. I hope he's a tech guy. So let's go on and get to our next commercial. Mr. Alvin Jameson.
Hey, Alvin Jameson here, the mortgage guy. Are you looking to get pre-approved for a home loan? Or maybe you want to build a house from the ground up? Are you curious, or better yet, is your significant other on your back about making renovations in your current home? Call me. I have options for you. All self-employed individuals. Are you torn between writing off all your income or having to show your income to qualify for a house? I have a third alternative for you. Whether you're a W-2 employee, self-employed individual looking to do a purchase or pull money out of your current house, or better yet, we can't forget the investors out there. If you have that high interest rate, hard money loan and looking to refinance out of it, again, give me a call. I have options. Below are the states that I'm personally licensed in. Call me, 404-587-9033. Again, 404-587-9033. Visit the website, alvinjameson.com.
Jameson for being a sponsor of Three Guys Who Love Sports, and also the Al Show, again, coming up at 7 o'clock tonight. Also right here at Miller's Ale House. If you're listening out there on the World Wide Web, shoot your way on over here to Miller's and get some dinner, grab a brew from my buddy Sean, and enjoy the show. We got Coco Brown from the volleyball team and George Oldie going to be the guests on the Al Show tonight. So let's move into fantasy. End of season strategies. It's always wild because probably not so much the next 2 weeks, but after that, once you get into the fantasy playoffs, there's always teams that say, "Oh, we're already in. We're going to relax our players, or we're going to relax that." So, Robert, so you said you had some strategies for us that are still in, which means me right now.
So, the biggest thing is because there's only one team with a bye, and we'll say for right now it's going to be Jalen Hurts and the Eagles. They're not going to sit anybody because even though their last 3 games are versus the Giants, versus the Cardinals, and then at the Giants. So, horrible final 3 games. We can pen them in for those 3 wins now, but they're going to be off for a week. And they don't want to take that game off and then be off for 2 weeks going into that game. And more, the teams that you usually have to worry about sitting players are a 5 seed. It's a wild card team that's already locked in. So the number one horrible playoff team for
Dallas.
your fantasy team is going to be Dallas this year. They're 8-3. They're going to have that spot locked up. And so at some point in time, there's a decent chance that Dak only plays a first quarter or something else.
Cooper Rush, baby.
Well, also, if you take a look at the AFC, which we talked about, there's still wide open for home field advantage. And they're going to try to win every game they can, so they're not going to bail out either. So be very interested to see how these last 2 weeks work out. I don't know about Doug's league, but back in our league, we have a league here on the show.
Oh, yeah.
And
How many teams get in the playoffs?
Only 4 in this league. It's pretty tight.
4.
Pretty tight.
Yeah. So we have 12 teams and 4 get in.
Well, it's all about short-term strategy. You got to see what the projections are for your players in the next couple of weeks. And see what's
sometimes
on the
those
waiver
projections
wire.
really suck. There's nobody out there on the waiver wire. I've been trying to pick up a tight end. I picked up Tyler Higbee this weekend, and then I realized I also have Tutu Atwell starting. So I've got Tutu and Tyler side by side and starting. I don't like having 2 people on the same side, but there are no other tight ends out there. I got Jonnu Smith.
It's one thing if
he
you
didn't
got-
score any points last week.
But you got to consider your position too. I'm in 2 leagues. One league, I'm locked in. I'm not going to be the top seed. I'm not going to get a bye. That 6 teams get in that playoffs. But I'm going to be in the middle somewhere.
Correct.
So I'm not going to get too crazy. I'm not going to try to pick up someone. I'm looking towards the 3 or 4 weeks out. Another league where I'm still fighting for a position, I've got to really
gotta
go
do anything you can.
Yeah, exactly. So you got to consider your own team where you are.
Absolutely. And that's the same conversation I had with Larry earlier this year as he was dominating everybody. Don't drop a really good player to get a defense for this week, because right now everybody's only goal should be construct the best team, and if you do have a hole in your lineup, like you better fill it now if you're trying for that playoff spot.
I picked up Denver 2 weeks ago as my defense. That might be the best move I've made all year.
Until this week when C.J. Stroud goes off on them. So,
Is
Never
that in
canceled.
Denver or is it in Houston?
It's at Houston.
It's not. They're not the Texans anymore. They're the Strouds.
The Stroud.
The Houston Strouds.
The Stros and the Strouds.
You know, just looking here for a team to get behind. Now, yes, this is my team, so you can call me out if you want to on it. But the best fantasy team you could possibly have right now would be the Buffalo Bills. They're 6-6. They got to win everything. They've got to win everything.
Yeah, but they got a tough road ahead.
Diggs should have 15 targets a game, and Josh Allen should be dominating. And even though, I understand they have a very tough schedule, but
is it
they're
Kansas
going to
City
be playing.
they play this week? No, they play them the next week.
No, it's at Kansas City this week.
Yeah.
Hey, I got a question. Can I ask a question?
No.
Absolutely.
And it's nothing to do with playoffs, but it's mostly like a strategy I have right now. Again, I've hurt one of my teams, and they're playing San Francisco and have the San Francisco defense. So what do? I don't want to play both.
But you're a number one seed in one of them, and you're a good playoff.
Well, the one
You got San Fran in both defense in both leagues too?
Second.
You got San Francisco as defense in both leagues?
The one I'm still fighting for a position. That's where I got Hurts in the 49ers this weekend. So what do? Do I play the 49ers? I'm going to play Hurts for sure, but
Do you have a
play
second
both of
team?
them.
Do you have a second team defense?
so,
Do you have a second defense?
they're on the bye. I got Buffalo on the bye.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's your defense. You know,
I'd stick with
it'd
it.
be way too cute for you to go, oh, let me go with this team over here. That your two
if I can get
defenses are San Francisco and Buffalo. That's good.
But the
You just
waivers
roll
is
with
tonight.
that.
If I can get Atlanta, should I get Atlanta and play them over San Francisco? But since I got Hurts,
No. No.
You wouldn't play Atlanta against the Jets?
No, I would not. I've been following Atlanta sports for a long time. Yeah, go ahead and go all in on that
did you-
Falcons defense.
did
They
you-
never let you
Did
down.
you see that
You know where I'm
92-yard
you know where I'm coming-
interception return this weekend?
I did. Mr. Bates is
Bates is tearing it up, man.
he's been our one of our top 5 all-time additions.
well,
I
you know where I'm
agree.
coming from. If they both do well, only one can do well.
That's not true, though.
know what I'm talking about.
Jalen Hurts can get 3 quarterback sneaks and drive his total up, and the San Francisco defense can still sack him 6 times. And
Well,
take,
yeah.
You know, you could still pay off on that
But
one.
defense starts off at 10, right? So the most points you're going
In
to
that
lose.
league, yeah, ESPN league, yeah.
Yeah, so most points you're going to lose 10. But if Jalen Hurts scores 4 touchdowns and throws for 2 more, I don't care what my defense does. I had 2 zeros this weekend. I had Jonnu Smith, goose egg.
So there's more upside with Hurts.
I had Aaron Jones this weekend, goose egg. So there's a lot more upside with
and less
with
downside on
Jalen.
them, so it makes sense to go with the 2. Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't change those. I want another tight end, Robert. If you're out and want to trade a tight end,
I think all my people
I'll
are
try.
broken.
I'll trade anybody who wants to. I'm after
Everybody
this
needs-
week.
everybody needs
after
to
this week, I
trade.
will trade anybody.
No, it's not this week. You actually play Hun in the final week,
Yeah,
I believe.
oh.
So I need.
Well,
well, you
I
can't
need you to
trade
have-
after the
Gosh, dang
playoffs
I need
start.
you to have the best lineup. Anybody who wants to drop somebody so Mr. Crooks can go pick him up, that would be great because I need Hun to lose, and I don't think that's
Well,
going
I
to
can
happen.
trade you Brock Purdy if you still think he's good.
I mean, I have a quarterback.
Aiden O'Connell? No, you dropped him, didn't
No,
you?
I dropped him. I'm starting
you
Justin. I'm
believe-
starting Fields
Can you believe why?
because Fields is going to get me like 20 a game, and there's no other quarterback.
Fields is going to complete 19 2-yard passes, fumble the ball 6 times, and then
Sounds like Ritter.
act like he just won the
Actually,
Super Bowl when they come out.
Fields is off this week, so I guess I'm starting Derek Carr.
Or
Yes,
trading
he's
for Brock
horrible.
Purdy.
It's horrible.
No, I'll
Is that
start
game,
Derek.
is that
Carr.
game in Philly or is it at San Fran?
San Fran Philly game.
It's in Philly. Yeah,
Is it?
I don't know.
it's in Philly. I'm looking at my schedule. I put the home.
How are
team.
the Ravens and the Bills both on a bye this week?
Set up beginning
Supposedly,
of the year?
Mr. Goodell said it was random, but
Who knows?
yeah, I don't know. A lot of good teams. Another team to go for as far as fantasy upside would be the Rams. Any Ram you can get between their 2 main wide receivers and their running back. They're 5-6. Minnesota's 6-6. How Minnesota's 6-6? I still don't know.
But they're on a bye this week. Because I've got
they're at-
Madison. I got
they're at
Madison, their
Vegas.
running back.
Oh, that might not be this week. I guess that
No,
could be next week.
they're on a bye this week. So do you start two players from the same team? Like I've got Higbee and Tutu Atwell.
If those are the best two players you can get, yes, don't ever go out of your way to say it's one thing to draft that way, but in week 13, you put out the best possible, best floor, highest ceiling, however you'd like to look at it. If that's as good as it gets.
Do you
for
ever start two players from the same team?
You mean the same position?
No, same team.
Well, sure. Well,
I got a wide receiver and a
I got
tight end.
Swift and Hurts.
Who?
Swift
Oh,
and
you got
Hurts.
Andre Swift.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I'm not. Why would I think twice about that?
Good
Absolutely.
call. Other than he's a bulldog.
I
But
thought,
other than
I
that,
thought you meant two guys in the same position, two wide receivers on the same team. Then
But depending on that, I can remember a long time ago, and this is a long time ago, I had the Reverend Mr. Bruce and Isaac Holt. I had both of Kurt Warner's great weapons. That was a great year. I went all the way to the Super Bowl.
yeah,
Lost. But it's a different story.
that was called the greatest team on turf. Is that what they were called?
Greatest show.
Greatest show on turf.
Greatest show on
that
turf.
was when they played in the Super Bowl here in
Tennessee.
Atlanta, right?
Tennessee.
Probably the best
Tennessee
Super Bowl there's ever been.
with the ball at the
One
half-yard
and a half
line.
yard line or half-yard line? Yeah.
How about the Giants and Danny DeVito? I know.
Tommy
I know.
DeVito.
Tommy DeVito.
But here's a guy who just wins 2 games. The Giants could be looking at a top 5 pick or something like that, and here comes Danny just winning games left and right. Gotta hate. You gotta. I love it because I hate the Giants, but if you're a fan of the Giants, put somebody else back in there.
Tommy DeVito's back in there. So, yeah, that's kind of crazy. So, the New York teams have just fallen by the wayside this year, right? Both the Giants and the Jets.
Yep.
oh yeah, yeah. Well, as I said before, the bet stole with Rodgers. I mean, that was a bad omen right from the beginning. So
Yeah, they
not
were
gonna be
lost,
better, yeah.
like Robert said, after 4 plays into the season.
yeah.
But who is out there that you think can make a run in the last 5 or 6 games on the pro game?
I'm gonna obviously I'll throw New Orleans and Tampa Bay just because it's a very winnable division. So
What are their conference records? Because I know the Falcons are 3-0, and that's going to be. I said
that's not conference record. That's division record.
division record. Yeah, I said at the beginning of the year that the Falcons would go 5-1 in the division. That they would win every game except lose at New Orleans, which would be the last game.
So the Saints.
I'm half right
The
so
Saints
far.
are 1-2 in the division. Tampa Bay's 1-1 in the division.
Yeah.
So
So we've got to lead. So if we win one more game, we'll win the division. One more division game, we'll have to win the division.
no, I mean Tampa Bay can
If
still
it
run the
comes
table
to,
and
if
go
it comes to a
5-1.
tie, yeah. Tampa Bay's not going to go 5-1.
And I don't think it's going to come down to we won more division games because that's still the second tiebreaker.
Yeah.
You would be head to head at that point. So and as far as tiebreakers go, point differential. It's one of my favorite stats. No matter what, if it's baseball or football. What are the Falcons this year? Plus or minus?
But like -2, isn't it?
Minus 19.
Minus
New
19.
Orleans +7. Tampa Bay -15. Horrible. Just for the record, the Buffalo Bills, who cannot even smell the playoffs currently, are 101 points
To the good?
to the good. They've scored 328 points this year. I mean, and they're not in the playoffs. And here you got the Falcons -7 on the season. It's a crapshoot.
I forgot. The Falcons had any really bad blowouts where they got really killed.
No, Falcons.
That'll
Every game
skew
they've
it.
had
That'll
has
skew
been
that
very
number.
close.
Yeah, every Falcon game's been-
Mostly one score games.
Anyway, Baltimore takes care of business and just runs this table.
I love Lamar Jackson.
I just every time I watch Lamar, I see Vic, I see
RG3.
RG3, I see all these guys, and I'm like,
It was the
gonna be close.
scramble on what was it, 3rd and 5, where he's in the pocket and he runs
RG3.
around. No, Lamar.
Lamar.
He runs around and then he gets out of the pocket and he stretches the ball and he should have gotten the first down, and they didn't give it to him. It was 4th and 1 and they went for it and didn't get it. But just the way he escapes and gets out of the pocket, and
he's unbelievable.
I mean,
he's unbelievable.
he's a magician.
He is a magician.
So who's the MVP so far in the NFL?
I'd say it's Lamar.
Lamar.
I'd say it's Lamar right now because I don't want to
Why
come
not
up.
the C-Mac?
C-Mac's close, but C-Mac is not leading his division As far as, the quarterback's always going to get the nod. Baltimore's the 1 seed. They have the quarterback with all the stats. They're plus 137 on the year. I think, but C-Mac's probably close.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's close. I need him to have a big game this week, so I need Jalen Hurts not to have a big game or to throw a lot of touchdowns and make San Francisco have to score a lot of points.
What do we call it when we kick a horrible soccer team down to the minors?
Relegation.
I wish I'd have known about relegation my entire life, because that's what North American sports need. If you watch that Giant, who did the Giants play this weekend?
Patriots.
Giants, Patriots, send them both down. After watching the Bears this weekend and Justin Fields doing everything, just send them down. I don't care. Bring me Bama, bring me LSU, bring me whoever you want to bring.
Well, what coaches
Kansas
have
City
lost?
Royals are gone too, then, I guess.
Yeah, what coaches have lost their job? I know Frank Wright got fired this weekend, but there was another NFL coach that already lost his job this year.
Chargers? Have we already fired
no.
the Charger coach?
No.
Thank you, sir.
Raiders. Josh McDaniels.
Josh McDaniel, that's right, yeah.
Yeah, but he'll be an offensive coordinator for
Somebody.
New England again, because that's what he does after he gets fired from every job. He goes back home.
Yeah.
I don't know. How about Pittsburgh? Pittsburgh actually looked like Pickett might even be a quarterback now. They got a different offensive coordinator. They fired their offensive coordinator, put him in. All of a sudden, this guy's throwing for 300 yards, and they're in the playoffs. I didn't see that coming.
Well, they're in the playoffs currently.
Well, and he's got those little hands with the glove on it.
Yeah. So, and Najee Harris is running the ball well. Yeah.
So is, Danny DeVito, good Lord, those people up in New York better
It's
get it.
Tommy DeVito.
Hey, is he?
He
I-
still lives. Be
I-
nice to him. He lives with his mom.
I think, he lives with his mom, and her name's Rhea Perlman, but that's a different story altogether.
Danny might can do as good a job as Tommy. I don't know. He could hide better. He could run under people.
Unbe-
Yeah.
He can do the
Unbelievable.
push tush pretty good, I think.
Yeah, he probably could.
They're gonna be great in the new Pac-12 after relegation. Oregon
You
State,
mean-
Washington State,
mean the-
and the New York Football
You mean
Giants, baby.
the Pac-3?
The Pac-3.
It's the Pac-2 now.
Well, there's a couple really good Mountain West teams like UNLV that
They
are
have-
looking for that invitation.
They have been allowed to stay a conference for the next 2 years until they can find enough people.
Will they play each other 7 or 8 times?
I have heard the theory that they should do a conference championship game where they play each other just to spite everybody.
That's funny.
Well, it's kind of like high school playoffs where a lot of teams in the state of Georgia, they'll go out and they'll play some really tough teams their first 5 or 6 games and go 1-4, 1-5, and then they get into their region and they dominate teams. So it's like, so you're going in as a 1 seed to the high school playoffs. What's your record? Well, we're 3-6.
Well, Kennesaw State's only 7 months away from being in Conference USA.
With Delaware.
With the Blue Hens.
Actually,
Blue
Delaware-
Hens.
And
Delaware's
I just wanna
next
say,
year.
I know I'm messing this up because he can hear me right now.
No,
but
there
I
is
just
a 2-year
cannot
transition,
wait to
right?
see what Will Renfro's menu is when the Blue Hens come to town. It's going to be a thing of beauty.
I'm very excited.
I
about
have
the
a feeling
Blue
he's
Hens.
making chicken.
There's going to be some chicken, but there's going to be something different. Yeah.
Delaware's a cool place. I've been up to Dover Downs, so it would
think
be,
about that.
it'd be a cool little trip up to Delaware.
Delaware to now New Mexico. That's a widespread.
And down to FAU or FIU, whichever one. Yeah.
Correct. I mean,
Yeah.
if
It's a
we could
huge
add
triangle
Gonzaga
around there.
or Washington State, it would be. We could call the new thing Four Corners. We used to be Conference USA. Now we'll call us Four Corners.
I like that. Yeah. Right now we could be the Triangle Conference.
It could be.
Yeah. That's
Try-
crazy.
The
Boxing one.
Doritos.
Or Atlantic.
We could be sponsored by Dorito.
Well, Atlantic Coast Conference could now be Coast to Coast Conference because they got Stanford.
All Coast Conference.
I know I've got a commercial to read here in a second, but I just want to ask you and everybody else, do you know where Doritos came from?
Plano, Texas.
Yes.
Neither nor. So there's 2 really smart guys who lived a long time ago. One's name was Disney, and the other one was Ford. They hated wasting things. So what Disney found out at Disneyland was his little tortillas weren't good the next day. And he said, well, we can't throw them away. And they invented Doritos at Disneyland. Are you freaking kidding me? How smart of a guy? We can do. Ford, when he was used to make the Model Ts, you know what they used to do with the little pieces of wood left over?
What?
It's called Kingsford charcoal. We call it Kingsford now, but Kingsford charcoal is from little pieces of the Model Ts. These guys waste not, want not, and.
Well, now I know what Robert's been doing for 3 weeks.
I knew those when I was 3 weeks old.
Oh, there you go. All right, let's get into our last commercial with All American Axes.
All American. Tired of going to the same old places for the same old thing? American Axes has your solution. Whether you're looking for something new to do before or after the game, bachelor or bachelorette party, or somewhere new to take those out-of-town guests, American Axes has 3 Atlanta locations located in Marietta, Tucker, and now in downtown at The Works. Each and every location is conveniently and definitely not coincidentally located next to a brewery. Look us up at American Access or give us a call at 678-763-3635 to schedule your next adventure.
Make sure you axe before you drink the brewery. So I imagine it's a fun time together.
Absolutely.
So thank you, Dan Fisher. Like I said, Alvin Jameson and Brian Bristow, all for being sponsors. Did you mention to him that you were on the show?
Oh, yeah. I walked up and he actually recognized me. He's like, hey. I was like, hey.
What was that again?
Hey.
You look like Fonzie when you did that.
I grew up watching Fonzie. I can't help that. It just comes out.
That's no big deal.
But I'm a little bit more like Potsy or Richie when I say it. I'm not quite as cool as Fonzie
the
was when he
Fonz,
said it. Hey.
All right, so if you want to be in on the picks, Doug, you can. I know you don't know much college football, but certainly
Just
welcome to
pick a
join us.
team.
And
you
I
go.
can tell
Make
you
it
this:
up.
if everybody agrees, go the other way.
There you go. All right, first game.
Vegas, baby. Give me Vegas.
Lost wages. Oregon minus 9.5 at Washington.
Wow, that's a big spread.
Wow.
Yeah, I was
Such
little
a
surprised.
big spread.
Give me the Ducks.
Are you surprised that that's not a 6.5? If you'd have told
I
me,
am.
I'd have
Yes.
said 6.5.
But give me the Ducks.
Covering the points?
Give me the Ducks.
Okay. A is a duck. Doug, how about you?
Oregon, yeah, sure.
You, sir?
I think Oregon wins the game. I'm just not sure about that 9.5 points. Give me Washington with the spread, but I am thinking Oregon will win the game.
I'm very much the same thought process as you, Robert.
Oh, that never works for us.
I know, but Oregon, they lost by 3 in Washington, right?
Correct, and they're looking so much better. You know, every time I go on CBSSports.com, it says bodacious across the top.
Yeah,
You seen that every
Yeah.
time you go on there?
yeah.
He's a Heisman Trophy winner, folks.
I believe that, unless he really screws up.
Oh, he's got to
Friday.
wet. He's got to wet the bed. If both teams just completely wet the bed, maybe that opens the door for LSU's guy. But outside that, I think this, you know.
Well, I got to look at the last couple of games that Washington's played. They struggled against Oregon State. They won by 3, I think, right?
Tough to play in Corvallis.
Yeah, but Oregon
The Civil War.
slaughtered them. Oregon beat them 31-7, I think. I think Oregon's going to cover. I got to go with them. So
All right, so we 3. I feel good about that.
you're the lone wolf.
I'm the
baby.
lone wolf. I'm
All
okay
right.
with being a lone wolf.
The Dogs minus 6 at Bama, or not at Bama, but in Alabama. Oh wait,
No, Atlanta.
I'm supposed to take the loser. Give me Washington. Oregon no cover. Washington gets the axe. I give the axe to him.
Been so long since we've had a show. Chuck didn't even know what he's supposed to do.
Exactly. All right, UGA minus 6 in downtown and Mercedes-Benz
Forget
Stadium.
about anything else. I'm going with what I said 5 months ago, and that's the reason why I'm going it. I'll take Bama plus the points.
Bama looked bad last week against Auburn, so I'm going Bama.
I always say it's scary when Bama looks bad. It gives Nick something to yell at him all week for.
Well, you know, Georgia didn't look great against Georgia Tech either.
Oh, Kirby's going to yell at Georgia too. Don't
You
get.
know, now, I know they didn't play. I like Brock Bowers didn't play and all that stuff.
Matt McConkey didn't play.
Yeah.
Most of their players did.
But they
Hey, you
still
stay
give
out
up
of
that
this. We
first
didn't ask you.
touchdown.
But I do believe that Alabama will at least cover the 6. So
How How much are we wagering here?
Dog gets the triple axe. No money.
Oh,
I love a guy. I love
Alabama,
a guy who's
Alabama.
he's not a huge college football fan, but he's like, all right, I'm going into
If there's
Chuck's
cash
wallet.
involved, I want to get in here.
Must
Yeah,
have
there
some
you go.
cash.
So we got
Axeman.
We got everybody on Alabama, which means that Georgia's probably going to cover. So, all right.
Hopefully not.
Michigan minus 23 at Iowa. I don't
Oh,
even have to ask
Lord.
Adam because he's already
A
going with
23 is way too much for this game. I don't even think Michigan's going to score 23. I think the over-under set
Wow.
at 23 would be fantastic. I would take the under.
This is not
Iowa's-
Iowa and Illinois.
You
Iowa
gotta remember,
has-
he's never bet, and if he was, he wouldn't be successful at it.
Iowa has a great defense,
They do.
one of the best defenses in the country. Their
Oh.
offense is terrible.
They got a great defense for.
They have
the Big Ten West.
statistically one of the best defenses in the country.
I believe that what Adam said earlier, that the over and under of Iowa's points scored is 1/2.
Yeah,
Yes.
Is that what you said?
Yes.
Well,
And it was Robert that said that.
it was me.
Oh, well, I
Yeah.
think they'll go under that, but I'll also say that Michigan's going to score more than 24. So I'll give the Axe. I'll agree with Adam to Iowa, but I think Michigan.
I'm
will cover.
picking Iowa.
I know you are, but I'm giving the Axe to Iowa. So I'm picking them too, but to get the Axe.
I
You got the axe. I'm going with what you say.
Huh?
I'm going with what you say. You got the axe.
Okay.
so Captain Khaki's back, right?
Captain Khaki never left, according to what he said.
Yes.
This is the fourth game.
Yes.
So he's already sat out. What a game that was. As soon as Michigan didn't look like they had anything left, their all conference center goes down, and next play, bam! It's like all you got to do is throw somebody on the altar and sacrifice them in front of Big Blue,
Like
and that
Corum's
team
a
gets
heck of a running back.
motivated.
They got a couple of running backs, Edwards and Corum. They're probably the second best team I've seen play this year to Oregon. I really,
So
really
many
like what they do.
points.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take Iowa. Give me all those points.
Adam and Robert on Iowa, me and Doug on Michigan.
Not thinking they will win. So
And
just
the
make
last,
that part
the
clear.
last college game, Louisville +2 against FSU and Charlotte.
I spoke to a young man earlier today, and he told me that Jeff Brom is a big game coach. And so, yeah, I'm going FSU.
Does his initials happen to be Adam Crooks?
Yes. Yes.
No.
I don't like Jeff Brom, but FSU doesn't have a quarterback, although
do
Jack
not.
Plummer for Louisville hasn't been playing well this year. But Jeff Brom is a big game coach.
Is that
He's
Jake-
a
is that Jake-
BGC, big game coach.
Is that Jake Plummer's son?
I don't think
No.
you can say BJC
No.
on this show, sir.
He is a BJC.
So
BGC.
Adam-
He's a
Adam-
BGC. He's a
Adam-
big
Adam-
game
He doesn't
coach.
know his
Taking
letters
Louisville?
or anything else.
So Adam's
I'm taking Louisville.
+2. Doug?
Louisville, all the way.
Louisville. All right. Doug's on Louisville. And I'm
Doug
gonna give-
loves a good bourbon trail, though, so we knew Doug was going in the bourbon direction.
I'm giving FSU the axe, and I'm going to pick Louisville as well.
So I'm the only one who took FSU?
Yes.
You're a lone wolf in two games, buddy.
I like that with this setup.
All right, let's move
I
up
don't
to
like
the
either
pros.
one of those games for the record, but I like
I
being
can't believe
by
I didn't
myself.
put the Falcons and the Jets
We're
in
adding-
here. Why
we're
did I not
adding them
put
on the
that?
end.
Oh, are we?
Yeah,
Okay.
we are.
So Denver +3.5 at Houston.
It's amazing how that smug little man has turned this program around.
Which smug little man?
The
Sean
smug little
Payton.
man who
Sean
leads
Payton?
Sean
the
Payton.
Broncos. But
I love Sean Payton.
I hate him. I think the Broncos stink because they traded all their future draft picks for a quarterback, and then when that didn't work out, they traded all of their future picks for a coach. Give me a team that actually has a young player who's good. I'll take the Strouds.
The Strouds. ATI, how about you, buddy?
I'm gonna take the Strouds as well. CJ Stroud has he's really carried this team. I didn't think he would be playing as well as he has, but I mean he has outperformed Bryce Young by a mile with kind of the same talent at receiver.
Yeah, but I tell you that
I
Adam
think he's got a
Thielen looks
lot
awful.
more weapons than
Yeah,
than,
yeah. I think he does
Chris.
too.
I'm gonna take the Strouds.
All right. How about you, Douglas?
It's Strauss and me too, yeah.
Strouds.
been following him.
I'm going to go the lone wolf. I'm giving the Strouds the axe. So I'm going to pick the Denver to come within 3. Denver's playing too well defensively.
This is true.
I think it might be a 3-point game, so I'm going to take Denver plus the 3.5.
You like the hook, do you?
I like that hook. Yeah. All right. Biggest game probably so far of the year, San Fran getting 3 or laying 3 at Philadelphia. Wow.
It's at Philadelphia?
At Philadelphia.
Yeah, Philly all the way. Oh, yeah.
You got Philly?
Yeah.
So Doug takes Philly.
I am a Brock Purdy stan. I love Brock Purdy
So why don't you trade for him?
because I don't want him in
You have him, and he
fantasy.
doesn't want any of your garbage.
Purdy's
Because
not
then I have to
garbage.
trade somebody away, and I like my garbage.
Okay.
So I am going with San Francisco.
Laying 3. Robert?
I don't know how I'm supposed to lay 3 to the team that traveled 3,000 miles to try to figure out how to stop the tush push, the brotherly shove. I'll take the Eagles.
Robert will take the Eagles.
Also, I can't pick Philadelphia. Hate the Eagles.
We knew that as well.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to give the axe to the Eagles and get the 49ers to cover because I need a lot of points out of CMAC. All right. Kansas City laying 6.5 at Green Bay.
Did they sign Julio Jones or anybody?
Somebody
else?
signed Julio Jones. It wasn't on this
That would
list.
be the Eagles.
That was the Eagles.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I know, but Kansas City's receiving core is just abysmal. Whatever they got, outside of the rookie Rashee Rice, they haven't had anything going on. But Lord have mercy, Green Bay is not a good football team.
Although they beat Detroit last week.
That's it's like a survivor. If you're ever in a survivor league or you're thinking about being in a survivor league, never go divisional games. Divisional games are a taboo.
So you're taking
I'll take the Chiefs minus the
Chiefs.
points.
Douglas?
I like Green Bay.
You like Green Bay?
He's got a lot of love in him.
Plus 6.5. Love played a little bit better last week.
Yeah,
but not
he did.
much.
He did.
ATI?
I
trend,
don't
good
like
trend.
Jordan Love. I think he's a bad quarterback. And he's playing Patrick Mahomes, so I'm going to go with the Chefs.
So are you certain that the Chiefs quarterback is better than the Packers quarterback?
Yes, I'm absolutely positive that Patrick Mahomes is better than Jordan Love.
You heard it here first, folks.
Yep. And I'm in that same boat, and I also need
Oh, here comes the fantasy wish
Patrick to
list.
score 4 touchdowns and for Harrison Butker to kick 3. So go Chiefs. That's what I'm saying.
If Harrison
The
Butler
Axe.
can kick 3
And I love
touchdowns,
Green Bay.
you're
Green
going to
Bay's-
win big.
Green Bay's my second favorite team.
Nobody's ever kicked 3
But,
touchdowns.
I'm going to have to give them the axe this week. All right. But at least they're not like Gus Johnson. When they miss a field goal, he doesn't call it incomplete. Pitiful. Gus Johnson's horrible. All
I
right.
love Gus Johnson.
Cincy and Jacksonville. Joe Burrow. Burrow.
The Jake Browning-led Bungles.
Yeah, and they are the Bungles now.
Yeah.
I mean, if you saw that box score, I did not see the game, but looking at that box score, I don't know how this team gets on track because obviously you just have there's no T. Higgins, so you put 2 guys on Chase, you crowd the box to make sure Mixon doesn't beat you, and it's all done.
All right.
Hey, guess what? Our food's here.
Yeah.
Our
so,
food's
so let's speed through these last 2. You taking who?
I'm going to take Jacksonville.
I'm going to take Jacksonville.
Minus the 8.
Yeah, Jacksonville all the way. There's no way. They're going to kill him.
Since he gets the axe, Calvin Ridley gets 4 touchdowns.
That is what a Falcons fan would say.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Well, hey, just remember, if they re-sign Calvin Ridley, we get a second-round pick
Second
out of
instead of
that,
a fourth,
and,
right?
and he's put up some decent numbers over the last few weeks. So we are getting really close to that. Wonderful news, I do believe.
All right.
Final one:
Jets, what's the spread on the Falcon game?
Falcons favored by 2.5 in Jersey.
I'll pick Tim Boyle. I'll do it. I'll pick Tim Boyle.
You are a Boyle on the butt of a
Boyle on a blemish.
of a muskox.
What?
How about you, Robert?
Hey, as I told my buddies last week, I know they have a losing record. I know we don't have a good quarterback, but how many times in your life has it been December and your Falcons have been in first place? Give me them Falcons. I don't care. I got to root for them.
Douglas?
Yeah, me too. Falcons all the way. I got them.
I will give the axe to the Jets. Falcons got to cover 2.5. That's all I got to say. Falcons got to cover 2.5.
Sounds like that one's going to be in the tub, in case you're watching at home.
Shh, don't tell these guys what my picks are. All right, guys, we ran a couple of minutes over, but what a great show. Good to be back. Good to see everybody. Larry the engineer. Doug, welcome, buddy.
I enjoyed it.
Hey, we're
Well,
going to bring
Barry?
you back on for baseball season.
Good
Let
show.
you talk a little bit more.
Please do.
All right, so until 7 o'clock, we'll see you. And the three guys, don't remember, guys, know your numbers, cover your ass, get your prostate checked. Love you. See you next week.
See ya.